so you can see what supplies you will need for the value that I picked this week is simplicity. All right, so I'm using this lovely journal that I got from Andrea and Manette that has the journal writing side and then the blank side over here for your creative endeavors. And I really love this about this journal because there's the narrative arts here and expressive arts over here. And it just fits with the value that I chose, which is simplicity. And it really goes along with the other two values that are there for this week as well. I chose simplicity because I can make things pretty darn difficult sometimes. And this is a process that helps me get to that simplicity mode. So what you're going to need is some paper, and you'll need some just basic watercolors and a brush, paintbrush, and a spray bottle of water if you have it. If not, you can just use a container of water. So those are the things that you're going to need. And I am going to, let's see here. Okay. I'm going to put some more light on this. There we go. Awesome. So we're going to start with just wet on the paper, water on the paper. And I also spray my watercolors too. And so let's just put some water on here. Quite a bit. I want to make some designs, and then I'm going to water up my watercolor pans too. Here we go. And just take it away. I never really have a design in mind at all. I just, really start just playing with the watercolors on the page with the water and see what happens. Like I said, I really love this process because you're using very few materials to, get into a creative practice. That definitely helps me get to that simplistic place. And it looks like that's not working so well. So let me do this. Okay, there you can see the color a little better there. And I like to change up the colors too. So let's see, I think I'll go with some green here, this darker green, and just keep making some designs. And I think this process really relates well to our lives because when things get chaotic, to just stop and breathe and put some color down on some paper can really help with the process of getting simple. And I think simple sometimes gets a bad connotation, or simplicity, but not for me, because I think I can make things so complicated. And I think one of the definitions for simplicity was uncomplicated. And so I like that. I mean, if I can make something uncomplicated, the better off I am. When I can not analyze and be in this like really picky, perfect spot, because I know nothing I do is perfect. So I just let it go and just play. So that's what we're doing here. We are playing. you know, just make all kinds of designs, just have some fun and see what happens. I think it's a great analogy to life. I really do. It's a great analogy to life. All right, so I think that's, you know, gives you the basic idea of putting color down on paper, making some designs, and then letting it dry. And for the next part, you will need some, where are they? You're going to need some micron pens or some felt tip pens like so. And I've got an assortment here with different size nibs. I've got a PN here, an 01, a 0.5, just pick up several. And then later on, the use of a jelly roll, a thicker nib like a 10 works really great. And maybe some graphite for shading. And then a tortillon, if you have that around, to do some shading. So close that up for now. And I have one here that's dry, so I'm going to go over to that. I'm going to let this one dry. You can, of course, use your blow dryer, whatever you use to dry your art. But this one is dry, and it's, you know, similar yet different, but it shows you the simplicity of this method. And so I am going to take one of my microns here. You could use felt tip markers too, different nibs with that. I'm going to use this PN, and I'm going to just start making some lines around some of these shapes. So a lot of line work. So I'm going to start here, and it's a little faded here from when I dried it. Well, you could see how I can outline that shape with some micron ink. This is archival ink, so it stays put. It doesn't bleed at all. It's very nice ink. So I'm going to switch out and use just to show you how you can use different nibs. This is an 01, and it's a little bit thinner. Just gives it a little bit different look. And a lot of times I'll put designs within the patterns on the paper, like so. And just keep kind of switching out my pens. Here's, this is a thicker one. So if I want to make my lines thicker and put some depth into them, then I would want to use this. Of course, you could go over with your thinner nib and, you know, make those lines richer or thicker. So I really like, I could probably do this all day. I also like to turn my paper around to look at it from a different perspective. And that to me is a great analogy of life as well, because, you know, there's just different perspectives to life. And with this very simple method, I can think of different ways to do things. While I'm doing this, I can even solve problems, which is one of the values this week, by doing this very simple method. And I just think there's so many life experiences that come through by doing creative things. And I do believe that everyone is creative, because I'm an example of that. I thought I didn't have any creativity in me, and now I see that I do. And, I do it for myself. I don't do it for anyone else. If you like it, awesome. But I get so much joy and meaning out of doing my own expressive arts. So I think it's so synchronistic that Andrea and Minette put this program together, Creative Stretch, because it is stretching us, but it's also providing us with an opportunity to do your expressive arts on one side, and then your narrative arts on one side and your expressive arts on the other side. And I personally have never had the opportunity to do that in one journal like this. So I think it's pretty cool. And they really came up with something magical. So going back to simplicity, when I feel tied up in a knot, I seriously can just do this. And before I know it, I am calmer by doing a very simple process. And I can use it as a meditative tool as well. And there's no right or wrong way to do this. It's just your way. And I know I keep saying this, but I just love the simplicity of it. The simplicity of the supplies that are used. And you could, of course, use some other things and experiment and get curious about, what if I did this or what if I did that? For instance, with this blue streak right here, I'm already thinking like, oh, I could put in some white jelly roll in here and, make some lines like so. And create a different look. The other thing I like to do is, it is so intuitive. This whole process is so intuitive to me. Nothing is planned out, believe you me. And that's why I love it too. But I can sometimes just find, as I'm putting ink down, sometimes I can just find flowers, or I can find an animal. And, when I do, I might just, put a mouth in, or, make an eye, to create another look. So it's very intuitive and a very simplistic process. I want to show you before I hop off that you could, like I said, you could do a lot with this. Some suggestions or invitations for you is sometimes I just like to make a lot of these and have them on hand. For instance, here's one that I would say is maybe mid-stage or at the end of a beginning stage. And I love to just have these handy and open it up when I'm watching TV and continue. Or if I'm waiting in a doctor's office, this is great. It's very portable and you can bring it with you and work on it. Here's another one that I don't feel is finished, so I'll continue on that. This one I think is an example of something that I feel is almost done, I think, or even done. So I, of course, did the watercolor first, and then I did some line work, lighter and then darker, larger nib. I came in and did some designs. These little squares here, I decided to put little flowers in the corner. And I even did some jelly roll work, some white here and there. And then I had I don't know if it's coming up on the video as well as I can see it, but I had a like sparkly jelly roll, and I put some of that in here. That was really fun. So it's that kind of what if, getting curious about what if I did that? I mean, it's just paper, it's just color, and it's like not a big deal. I always love how it comes out, no matter, if it's messy or not. So, and then I did hear this quote the other day, and I decided to write it in here because it just talked to me. It says, art is an act of the soul. And I truly believe that it is an act of the soul for me, and it's a heart-filled activity. So I encourage you to look at what you do in life at a more simplistic level. And to help you get there, this is a beautiful process that you can use to work on that. And you can also, work on the other values this week as well as you're doing this. But simplicity spoke to me because it's something that I will continue with on my journey for the rest of my life. So thank you. Thank you for joining me. I'm so grateful for this opportunity, and I hope to see you soon.